For this problem, we have to solve for I3, I4, and I5 in terms of R3, R4, and R5, and Vs only. We should only have single equations and not system of equations. First thing that we're going to do is solve for our I3. That's going to be the current right here. So for our I3, we know that it's going to be equal to the total voltage, so the V source, over the total resistance, which will be the resistance total, and this is because it's the very first current. So we know that we have this voltage source here, and we can use this. However, we don't have an R total, we only have these resistors to use. So what we need to do is we need to make our R total. We need to find this. So our R total is going to be the sum of all of our resistors. We know we have our R4 and R5 in parallel with each other, and then we have this R3 in series with the two in parallel. So what we're going to do is add them together. If a resistor is in series, we know we just add it, so we're going to have our R3 plus the parallel formula for resistors in parallel, which is 1 over our R4 plus the 1 over our R5, and this is all being raised to the negative first power. So now we can plug this in. This is going to be the equation for our I3. We can see that it's not violating any of the rules that we have here, so this will be the proper equation. Now we want to solve for our I4 and our I5. To do this, we're going to go back into the Intro to Circuit Analysis notes, section 3.3 and 3.4 in the description below the like button, and in there we have this setup. So what we're going to do is manipulate our current equation to look just like this equation. To do this, we are going to move our I3, which is this part right here, to the current source. Since our I3 is the beginning current, this is going to be our current source. So this will be our I3, and now everything else is going to be similar. We just have to change the names of our R1 to R4, and this is going to be I4 flowing through it. And the same thing for this R2, we need to change it to R5 with the current of I5 flowing through it. This means that we're going to have to change these equations. I'm going to change this to I4, and I'm going to change this to I5. Now, the only thing that we need to change here is that this needs to be an R5, and this needs to be an R4 and R5. Similar below, we're going to have an R4 up top, again because these two have to be the opposite current and resistor, and then on the bottom we're just going to have R4 plus our R5, and both of these are being multiplied by our I source. Well, our I source is not really the I source, it's going to be our I3. And we found our I3 here, which we can plug in to for both of these. And after we plug everything in correctly, we are going to get this for our I4, and then we will get this for our I5. And that is how we would make equations for all three of these separate currents, I3, I4, and I5.